everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Lizzie. This is actually a chat I was paid to talk about. Nothing fancy, and I did discuss with them earlier. I told them I would do this discussion if I could do it while I was setting up my reading for today, and they didn't mind. I will discuss things if you want to pay me for my opinions. Sure, I'll give them for you. But this comes from an old friend of mine who is currently still on the debate team for Harry and Meghan and the royal family in our little U.S. roundtable. I don't like talking about these two, but again, I was paid to. So, beggars can't be choosers in a pandemic. So, these are just my opinions. Keep in mind that I do not know Harry or Meghan. Personally, I'm not involved in their life in any way. These are just my opinions based on my own feelings and my own research. Do not allow it to upset you. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just an average person. My opinions really don't matter that much, so don't let it hurt your heart or get you all riled up. Everybody has an opinion. I do try to be fair and do my best not to let obscene things. Like, at the end of the day, I fully believe everybody is on their own journey, their ebb and flow. Some people have more personal growth to do than others. I personally feel like these two have a lot of personal growth to achieve before they are considered not that they're not good people. I wouldn't even say that they're not good people, but humanitarians. Just leave it there. So they have four specific questions. I wrote them down. I'm just going to answer them, throw them out there in no specific order. Again, while I'm setting up for a Connect to a Loved One readings. And for anyone who's wondering, no, it will not affect the reading. Spirit does this work. I'm just the oracle here, so it's not going to affect your reading if I talk about something else while I'm setting it up. I already went into the zone. I already did my thing. This is just the act of drawing. They will put out what they want to put out. Again, it's not going to affect your reading. Alright, so let's get right into it. The first question was, do you think Meghan and Harry are constantly trying to one-up the royal family members, and why? Yes. I think that not just on Harry and Meghan's side, but Will and Kate's side. I just feel like the last 2 years specifically has been a royal competition. I don't feel like Will and Kate are like waking up every day like, ugh, let's stick it to Harry and Meghan. But I do feel like Harry and Meghan wake up certain days and are like, let's stick it to the royal family members. I just feel like a lot of anger is coming from them. A couple of examples I jotted down. They announced their pregnancy at their cousin's wedding, which average small no-name person, that's very rude. Everybody who is in the poor class would never do that. That's like one of them rules that isn't really necessarily said out loud. You should just know that's in bad form. You do not announce anything. You do not get engaged at other people's weddings. You don't take away from the bride and groom in any sense, in any fashion. It is always rude. It is always classless and distasteful. I don't feel like she was big enough to be like, oh yeah, I'm pregnant. Like, there was no reason for her to do that day. So I do feel like that was a dig to the royal family, or just trying to steal attention to themselves. I'm not even sure if they're aware that they do this, because they might just be so self-absorbed that it doesn't factor into their brains that they're being rude to certain family members. Again, that was a while ago. I have a few more. But I do feel like every time Kate and Will are doing something, Meghan and Harry will post something. I'm not sure if that's something that they discuss, or if it's like part of the royal machine, like, we're going to do something in the UK, you do something in the US. They could be working hand in hand here, but I really don't get that vibe. You see Kate out here all the time going and doing all these visits, and then you had Meghan and Harry passing out stuff to the kids and doing stuff with flowers for his mom. Like, it's like they're trying to be better humanitarians than the other. However, I don't feel like when I watch Will and Kate do things, I don't feel like they're doing it in a vindictive way. I honestly feel like they genuinely care about what they're doing, and their heart is in it. I don't always feel that, if at all, for Meghan and Harry. It's just like I feel like, and again, I just don't know if they're so narcissistic that they don't realize that they're coming off phony in the way they do things, like bringing their own photographers to leak to the press. That's tacky as fuck. I know Diana did it a lot, but Diana was severely clever and lived in a time where you could hide it. You can't do what Diana did in today's world. You just can't. It's not gonna fly. Like, there was a lot more secrets going on, a lot of stuff that was kept out of the press because there wasn't social media and there wasn't everybody all over the internet world. You know, they had newspapers and tabloids, sure. The internet was there, sure, but it's nothing like today by any sense. So you can't be going out here pulling pages out of Diana's book and expect it to work. And I feel like that's what Harry and Meghan are doing a lot of the time. I 100% believe Diana used the press when she wanted to. She controlled the narrative of the story. Like, for example, the famous black dress scene. She showed up knowing that would be in the papers and overshadow Prince Charles' stuff. Like, how could you leave this beautiful woman? Blah, blah, blah. Mission accomplished. She did damn good. If she was out somewhere and she wanted to be spotted, she would be spotted. I honestly feel more times than not she didn't want to be spotted, but she did use the press. She did play to the press. She was an expert at it. She grew up in it, unlike Meghan, who tries to be Diana 2.0. I just feel like I really didn't believe the rumors about how much of a fangirl she was until I saw this picture of her in her room, like as a young kid, and there's like Diana's face all over the walls, and I was so disgusted. Like, I was just so like, red flag, red flag, red flag, like in a creepy sense. It wasn't like, oh, this is somebody who respects Diana or is somebody who's really trying to come out here and be a good person like she was. It's creepy, like she was studying, like she started this ploy way back when she was little. Red fucking flags everywhere. For me, I got the creeped out vibe. But again, this is just my personal opinion. It's not necessarily a fact. I do not know these people. So if you go on the computer, you also see a lot of Meghan dressing in outfits and standing in poses, just like Princess Diana did, on a severely creepy level. So not only do I feel like she's trying to one-up all the royal family members and overshadow them, like when Prince Charles does something, they put something out. When Will and Kate do something, they put something out. When the Queen does something, they put something out. And there's like a golden rule in England: when one of them is doing something, the rest are quiet, so that you don't overshadow this. Harry knows this. He grew up in this world. I didn't even grow up in that world, and I fucking know this. So of course, 100% I believe that Harry and Meghan are always trying to steal the limelight and make something of themselves here in the States. And no matter what they do, most of the time it's negative and it comes off to cut their own head off. But even bad press makes people famous and gets them attention they need. I feel like they're attention whores. Personally, I had a few things about the military that I was just disgusted about. I know a lot of people, including my fiance, that lost his life in Fallujah. For one, he would never miss a military obligation to see a fucking movie premiere. And nor would I, as a military spouse, ever be okay with doing that. That is so fucking disrespectful. Like, there are certain reasons why you miss a military ball. Like, if you have a family wedding, if you have a birthday plan, or some kind of family function, or if you're pregnant, or if you're in labor, or if you're sick. You know, these are all reasonable things to miss a military event, especially when you're supposed to be the head of or promoting and taken care of, to go to a premiere and mingle with celebrities. Disgusting. I know people, great fucking men, who never made it fucking home. lost their lives, would never fucking do that. I was morally fucking disgusted with Harry for that. How dare you? All those people that didn't come home. You're not going for yourself. You're not going to represent yourself as a captain. You're going to represent all the people that didn't come home. And I know for 100% fact, all the people that I know that didn't lost their lives, if they had to go to an event to represent you as a captain, even in a different country, they would go over everything else. How fucking, disgusting. And then he was trying to promote and get Meghan a voice acting job. Where's your priorities? That's so wrong on so many levels. So that was one event I know a lot of people talk about. I just want to throw that in there. Just as somebody who's lost a lot and was involved in the military, I lost a lot of respect for Harry. And a lot over this past year with hearing about how he ignores his sponsorships. That's not okay. You don't know. If you went over there and you were one of those guys and you made it home, you don't shortchange the memory of others. You don't shortchange people who lost limbs and are struggling with PTSD. They need you. You came home all well and good. You were more protected than anyone ever was over there. Harry as a person, yes, he was in danger. Yes, he put his life on the line, but he had protection. Unlike, do you think my fiance would have died if they had that protection? Don't step there, bro. No. All of us over here, we consider Great Britain, England, the same as our soldiers. You fight side by side. We've been fighting side by side since World War II. Like, we consider each other hand in hand. The two go hand in hand. If a British soldier dies at war, we mourn them, just like we would mourn somebody who died here. We have graves here for British and Canadian soldiers, even though it's our land, because they fought with our brothers and sisters. We value their lives. Like, I feel that Great Britain and England value our soldiers as well. When they hear about American soldiers falling, they get upset too. We're allies. We fight together. Same with Australian and Canadian. We all go hand in hand. So we do take it personally, and we do take it pretty hard. I know that Harry's been trying to save face and sued the paper about them saying that he wasn't living up to his potential in his areas, but you can sue all you want. We're seeing it and we're feeling it in our community. We're a little bit disgusted. Not saying like, oh, he's a bad person, like he deserves to get his title stripped. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying there's been more than one occasion since he married his wife where the military, in the honor of all the people that didn't come home and all the people who came home wounded, was slid under her and she was risen up. I am for supporting a spouse. I'm not saying that's negative, but again, a true military wife wouldn't act like that. Wouldn't allow themselves to become above what their husband or wife is supposed to do in the military. If you marry someone who is in the military or is out of it, you should know. Duty always comes first. Over your needs, over you wanting to get a job, over you wanting to meet Beyonce. Okay? I just feel like she's a bad influence to him as a military person, and a lot of military wives and husbands don't like her because we don't feel like she is a supportive military spouse. Like I said, even if your person is not in the military anymore, there is still a level of duty that you have, and she doesn't fulfill it. I don't feel like at all in the beginning in any of this. I know she walked through and went to the Invictus Games with Harry, but none of us felt that connection. Like, she genuinely gave a shit, and it's offensive. What else do we got? Okay, so a royal family member just had a baby, and then boom, they announce that they're pregnant. That's just a recent thing. But anyway, that brings us into the second question. The royal pregnancy, do you think it's her or a surrogate? Listen, I'm not against surrogate. I might need one day. I'd never trash a woman if they can't carry a child and they have someone else carry it. I just feel like That's fine, but you should definitely be real about it. You shouldn't be wearing a moon bump and pretending. I don't know about this pregnancy. Like, obviously there's one fucking photo, so I don't know. I think that she's dressed weird, and between a lot of people are saying since when she last said she had a miscarriage to now, like, her stomach's really big for somebody who had a miscarriage. Like, she should only, I'm not going to speculate any of that stuff. I've had lots of miscarriages in my own life. That's like a no-go zone for me, so I'm not going to talk about this pregnancy other than I hope it's successful. I would not want a young baby to not make it into this world, even if it is a surrogate. For whatever reason, I do feel like the first baby, Archie, I was on the fence. I was like, I don't know. Sometimes she does look pregnant, acts pregnant, never really proportioned right, but some women aren't going to be proportioned. Like, most women's faces swell, their boobs get bigger. It's not just all belly, but sometimes it is on women, and they don't get the other things. So you can't really, judge that, but there were some photos with her in the same outfit, and, she's got this huge, swollen, pregnant belly, and then it's flat. But you don't know if those are photoshopped. I'm not going to speculate and say 100% fact, but in my soul, I feel like she did. I don't know if she wore a moon belly because she wasn't showing as much as she wanted to. Maybe she was a late shower and she just wanted the glory of looking pregnant, or she definitely had a surrogate. I'm not sure. There's rumors Harry impregnated a staff member or something. I don't know. I'm not going to buy into that, and I'm not going to talk about this new baby. There's one picture. How can anyone speculate whether it's a surrogate or not? Like I said, overall, they're up for review in March. I definitely feel like this is... Listen, they're supposed to go to the Queen in March and ask for an extension, and they want one. What's the best way to get one? Grandma, I can't. I have a baby coming. Can we just focus on this baby? Can we get an extension? I feel like the first baby was also... I'm not saying they don't want to be parents. I definitely feel like Harry wants to be a parent. I don't feel much motherly warmth from Meghan or want to be a mom. But maybe it's because she doesn't show herself as a mom. Whatever, maybe she could be a good mom. I don't know. I don't know these people, but I don't get the mom vibe from her. Some women are born with that nurturing, loving side, and some women aren't. And she's always holding them awkward and just looks weird. But the baby definitely bonds and interacts with Harry, so I feel like he's the more nurturing one. But again, we only seen him, I don't know, total of 4 times, so I guess we all can't really speculate that much about it. I just feel like they used it they used this pregnancy to get their extension and to continue on their royal titles, because they know if they lose it, they're already barely standing up here in this country. They're not doing well. I don't care what the press is spinning it. I don't care what their website says. They're not performing well here. They're not being well received. I feel like if Harry had married anybody else, maybe. And I'm not saying that I think Meghan is a horrible person, but I do believe that she does fall into the narcissism category. Everything always comes back to her. She always talks about how she feels and how she's always stuck in the victim mentality. She never leaves the victim mentality. She's always a victim of something. And for a true victim, I can't vibe with that. I can't. You don't know what being a victim is. And yes, we all have our own crosses to bear. And I'm not saying just because she didn't suffer something horrible, she hasn't suffered in life. I do feel like she had a fucked up childhood. I don't feel like she was nurtured by either parent. I think she was left to fend for herself. And she's still stuck in that tweeny bopper mentality and never got out of it, never adapted and evolved into a mature-minded person. I think she tries really hard, but without that life coaching, life experience, if everybody feeds into you and you're pampered and you're spoiled and, you just have that taken care of presence. On the men she married, her father took care of her like she was in a fucking upper elite sorority. They're protected people. I don't care what anyone has to say. You're a protected person, as in you don't have... When people have money, people look the other way at certain things. There's a lot of fucked up shit that came out about hazing. I was in college too. I experienced sororities, but I adamantly refused to fucking haze anybody. Grew up in the same fucking era. I refused. If you're a good person, you don't haze. There's moral character inside yourself, and she's lacking it, in my own personal opinion. She's stuck as a child, always wanting attention, seeking love and approval, always needs to be well liked and received. She's not an adaptive person, because if you're an adapted person, you don't care what anyone thinks. You're not going to sit there in victim mentality and talk 3 years ago how you felt alone when you were pregnant. I'm sorry you felt that way, but your child is growing up and you're now pregnant with your second one, and it's time to move past it and stop talking about it and acting like majority of her life like she wasn't African American. Again, it's her own personal journey, and I'm not like saying this person is horrible, blah, but she spent majority of her life ignoring the fact that she was African American, wishing it wasn't true, doing everything to step away from that, and that is, in itself is sad. She didn't ever love herself. She doesn't love herself now, and now she's trying to be a spokeswoman for African American. And I have a lot of people who I talk to, especially in the round table, who are African American, who cannot avoid it. Can't go into upper society and mix well and pretend that they're, they can't do that, and they find it horribly offensive that she speaks for them. Other people like it. So I guess it's just upon the person, but I just feel like somebody who has no self-love, no real coping skills. And these are all things you learn growing up by being nurtured, by being taken care of. A lot of people lack this and end up as an adult narcissistic without realizing it. Me tendencies, victim mentality. These are all broken attributes in a person that they never learn to evolve past. And I definitely think Meghan is still stuck at age 14 in here, and how she acts. And she tries. She uses big words, and she speaks very well, and she's a very good speaker, and she tries to be humanitarian, but you can't be looking for likes and approval and acceptance while you're doing something. You should just be focusing. It shouldn't matter how many likes, how many people listen to your podcast, who's hating on you, who's saying what. An evolved person who is truly healed, mature, and grown, a comment isn't going to affect them. I do feel bad. I do feel like she is a bullied person, but I feel like she loves to be in the victim mentality. She loves to use anything to prop herself up to get affection from other people. She doesn't know how to get affection without being a victim, which I find very sad. She's got a lot of healing work to do, and I feel like Harry himself also had a lot of childhood traumas he never dealt with, and he's probably stuck, 18, 19, and never emotionally matured past that. So you have two people who constantly need validation, constantly need to be well received and well liked and have positive feedback to feel good about themselves, and they're not getting it. So they're out here doing messed up things without realizing it. They're two very broken people, in my opinion, and I feel bad. I feel bad that they didn't get the nourishing and growth and coaching, life coaching that they needed. And I feel like their children will suffer for it. Not that they're bad parents, but they're going to teach their children to be victims, to seek out approval, that you're nothing, you mean nothing if you're not well received and well liked. These aren't two strong people that march to the beat of their own drum and are comfortable in their own skin. They're very uncomfortable. They're unsure. They don't know what they're doing. They're trying everything because they don't know who they are and they don't know what they want. And that's sad. I'm not talking shit. I feel really bad for these people. All right, so question number 3 is, do you think they're really happy together? I don't know them. They seem to be happy. A lot of smiley, lovey-dovey pictures. They're always holding hands. But as an empath, I get a lot of sadness. I'm not sure if it's sadness that they're together. I just feel like I think they really thought that it was going to be smooth sailing, like people were just going to love and adore them like Diana. But Diana went through a lot of fucking shit. She wasn't always like the princess of people. She had to earn that by being her genuine self. So they're just trying to act like her. And I feel like the reaction to it is very sad. All the bad press, all the comments and calling out about how they're being fake, because they do come across very fake. It's very rare that they come across genuine. I can only think of a few times since Harry got married that I felt like he was genuine. He was genuine a lot when he was younger, even though he was leaving a lot out and trying to be more quiet and let his dad and brother talk, but he was genuine. He was 100% himself. Something happened to him. I'm not saying Meghan is like the Antichrist who corrupted his mind, but I think that she took a broken person down a bad path, and they're too far in, and they're not realizing they need to stop, turn around, and do that personal growth. So yes, I do feel like she damaged Harry's reputation and his name. Maybe not on purpose, but at this point I kind of feel like it was a little bit on purpose. Now it's about revenge. Now it's about, what can I get out of this because you ruined my life. I definitely get those love-hate vibes from them. I don't know if they're doing that on purpose, if it's like hate towards the press or hate towards the royal family that I'm just misinterpreting, but I do feel like a genuine love-hate relationship. Sometimes they love each other very much, very passionate, and sometimes they give each other looks like what the fuck? They just don't seem genuinely happy within themselves, so how could they be happy together? I hope they are. I hope that it's genuine and that they're in love, and I hope I'm wrong, but I can only tell you what I'm feeling as an empath. I just feel great sadness, shame, regret, and some revenge and anger in there. So the last question, what will happen in March with the royal family? I think they're definitely they know how to play the royal family, and the royal family doesn't seem to have much of a tough spine when it comes to other family members, and I'm not being disrespectful in that way. I think they're definitely going to get their extension because Meghan's pregnant and their ploy will work well, and I don't see the Queen standing up and being tough and cold. They're going to use all kinds of excuses like COVID, we couldn't take off and make as much as we want because the world shut down. And there might be a tiny bit of truth to that, but they were trying to do so many things. Like one reason why I feel like they shouldn't have titles is they're all into politics, and as a royal family member, you're not supposed to do that. And as an American citizen, I find it severely offensive for someone else who wasn't born here to tell me to go out and vote, and I don't feel like you should have an opinion in our country's politics if you're not a citizen. If you go and you make yourself a citizen and you have a voter card, you can speak. You're not. So, but out of our politics, you have no position in it. And anyone with a title, anyone, Duchess, Duke, Prince, Princess, King, Queen, you have no right to be involved in politics. Zero. It's not a no. Like they do. The Queen invites most of the presidents, like Obama went and saw Will and Kate. Trump went there, but it's more like meeting another leader from another country, and it's like a dinner. It's not like they are promoting that person, they're already elected. They're already named president before they're invited. So it's not like they're like, vote for this guy. You can't promote a certain side. And Harry and Meghan, through this whole campaign, were promoting Democrats, overstepping. Just for that alone, as an American citizen, I feel that their titles need to be stripped, because it's a bad. I'm a history buff. We broke away from England for a very big reason. I find it personally and morally offensive to have two titles trying to weasel their way back into our politics. You abused that right many times over for many years, and a lot of our people died breaking away from yours. Don't tread on my country. I know we're allies, but know your role. I don't come to your fucking country and tell you how to run your monarchy. Just saying. That's a majority of how Americans feel. It wasn't well received with their videos talking about get out there and vote, or being seen with Biden, and put a very bad taste in our mouth. You're overstepping. You're treading on our American flag. You don't belong here. I know Meghan was born here, but the day she married Harry, she became a royal family member. A royal family member from England cannot fuck with our politics. Don't you remember what happened? Don't you remember the Boston Tea Party? Don't you remember the Revolutionary War? You should read a book, Meghan. You're offensive as fuck. You gotta pick a side. This is the reason why other royals, like, I know what happened. They married Americans, but I don't feel like they participated as Americans once they married. Like, I'm sure they came here to the States and did stuff, but they still respected the rules, except for the ones that got kicked out and weren't allowed back. You know what I mean? If you want to be a duchess, you gotta give up your politics. And if you didn't want to give up your politics, you should have never became a duchess. Only because you are now tied through marriage, through the English fucking family, who we fought a war against to free ourselves. Again, not the same people, but the same country, the same monarchy, the same royals. You can't do that. You can't be an American patriot, citizen, and a duchess. So if you want to continue on with your politics bullshit, you gotta give up your title. That's how Americans feel. You're fucking with history. I think every single history person in the round table said the same thing. How dare you? If it was back in the day, that would be considered an act of war. They're trying to infringe back on our politics, weaseling their way in it. You're British, you have an accent, get out. That's how we feel. Yes, we'll go to war, we'll fight with you, but when it comes to our American politics, where American blood was shed against the redcoats are coming, the redcoats are coming. Fuck off. We died for this right for you not to be a part of it. And every day since then, you have not been a part of it. Don't fuck with how our country's history and how we got here. People will remember it and they will call you out on it, me included. No, you can't do that. Harry's got to give up his title and become an American citizen. Then you can preach to us all day if you want, and nobody can say shit. Meghan needs to give up her Duchess title. There is no American royal. Not happening. Ever. We will never allow a royal court in the United States. No. Fuck off. It angers me. Boy, as a patriot, no. We became our own country. We became our own people the day we won that war and we won our freedom. Since then, there's not been a court in our country. There will never be a court in our country. Not England, not France, not Germany, not India. No court. We have embassies? Sure. That's it. That's as much as you're allowed. If the Queen even pretends to give in to the fact that they want to set up a court here and seems to support it, there's gonna be a problem between the two countries. The next war we fight, we might not be allies. That's how serious people take it. All because we did fight the Revolutionary War, and it was a bitch to get away from England in the first place. And as an American Irish person, I have a lot of family members who do not appreciate England. Like, just, it's Black History Month, but where's our Irish Slave History Month? We're not allowed to speak about it. There's anger, layered under layer of generations about what you did to our royal family members. You stole our country, you stole our royals, you sold us as slaves, and you never not once apologized. You went to Ireland and you apologized. You didn't apologize to America for the revolutionary bullshit before you started speaking about what we should vote on and who you feel you're supporting. Why don't you apologize for all the bullshit? I know Meghan wasn't in that family until she was married, but you're a part of it now. Own it. Apologize. Say, I know the revolutionary happened. I know you broke away from England to form your own government. I'm sorry. We want to be a part of it. Would you allow us? Ask, and maybe you'll receive. Put your fucking nose where it doesn't belong in a pushy way. You're not going to be received well. It's my only advice. Well, so what will I think happen in March? They're going to get the extension. They're going to get everything they want. The royal family isn't going to stand up and do the right thing. And I feel like they're going to offend a lot of people. I genuinely hope they pull their titles away. Just for the sake of history, just for the sake of how they're acting in this country, using their titles to get business and get promotion is disgusting to an American person. We love and respect the royals. When you come here and you visit, we will receive you. We're not rude like that, but when you try to, we feel, set up an American court here, or you're trying, I'm a duchess, so you gotta bow to me and you gotta treat me that. This is America. We don't bow. We don't even have to bow to the Queen of England if we don't want to. Most of us would out of respect, but we don't have to. Don't come into this country and act like your shit don't stink. Go back to your court and use your names. Not here. No. And it's not going to go well. So, like I said, genuinely hope that the Queen understands what it's like to be an American person and watch them sprout their bullshit about politics and Black Lives Matter. I do feel like Meghan kicked up a lot of anger. Just like Trump was in trouble for inciting a riot, I definitely feel like she should, with her, make people uncomfortable, because in the ghettos where I live, they're uncomfortable with getting out guns and taking over the city, and they definitely used her slogan to harm people. It's just not making the news because it's not happening in rich communities. Like, nobody cares about what happens in the ghetto except the people in the ghetto, and her little face and her little slogan cost lives here. People died in that gun violence. So I feel like, just like Trump is being in trouble for inciting a riot, she should. You got to be careful about your words and how people will use them, and she doesn't give a shit. She doesn't care that she offends people, because she continuously offends people with what she says. Sometimes, very rare, she gives a nice speech and there's nothing in it that anyone can find offensive, but I can't remember the last time that happened. I don't know if they're just really that naive and they're not like hearing themselves when they speak, or they just genuinely don't care about the people they offend. It could go either way. So, those are the questions. That was the chat. I will not speak about these two again. Like I said, they raised my blood pressure. I used to be the captain for Harry at the round tables, and I won't speak for him anymore, especially since the Lion King event. I lost a lot of people, a lot of special people who would never... They have more love and respect for military personnel, and they would literally leave their job as a normal person to go help another soldier. Their duty always came first until the day they died. Even the ones that I know that come home still adamantly put their duty first. So there is no excuse. There's no apology big enough for that. And to continuously act like you don't really give a shit, and then only when you're called out and you sue, then you start acting like you care. Like, I know COVID happened and Invictus Games got canceled. I'm not talking about that. It's your overall attitude and nature. Like, how could you be okay with the decisions you're making? I'm in that community, not in your country, but in an American military community. You owe them a big fat apology, first to your own country and then all your other allies, just for that event alone. And so does your wife, because there are millions of military spouses that hold it the fuck down when their people go to war. When they come back, she doesn't, she shook a few hands. She doesn't try to reach out. She doesn't ever say, she doesn't stand up for the military side. As a military wife, I'd be like, no, we're not going to the premiere because it's going to be a bad look on you as a captain. Where was that, Meghan? That's what a military wife does. Just saying. Kate wouldn't do that to Will. What the fuck? Maybe she never dated anyone in the service and she doesn't understand that you're signing up for a lot more than you realize. I'm not saying you have to give up your personality or give up your life, but like I said, back if they were a military person before, even if they aren't in it when you marry them, there's an obligation. There is a step up and fill these shoes spot that she misses the target continuously. And it's offensive to the people who fill those shoes. We can't relate to her. We can't think positive things about her when she genuinely doesn't seem to give a shit. Showing up and smiling and waving, not enough. Not enough. Anyway, I'm done talking about it. Like I said, they kind of are a sore topic. They make me a little sick, but I do feel sad for them. They're broken people who need a lot of help, and they didn't get it. I don't know if they'll ever get it, but they need a life coach. Anyway, I hope this is what you wanted. You can use it at the round table if you want. Hi, everybody, if you do. I miss you lots, and see you next time with your reading. Bye, guys.